What is going on, guys? Railroad Kid 1937 here, back after what, 6 months? Long hiatus. Wow, do we have a lot to cover? Man, in this video, I have so many treats for you guys. I'm sorry that I have been gone for so long, but you know, like people say, there's this thing called life, and I gotta take care of that and make money and stuff. But other than that, I have been keeping up with all the train stuff, all the latest news, and I just basically want to show you guys what has been going on. Lots of updates to show you, lots of things going on here at the club, lots of things going on my models, and just lots of stuff I've been buying. So I think the first thing I want to do, honestly, is get right to what in the heck have I been up to the past few months. Like I said, I've been keeping up with all the latest products. Have you seen the new Broadway Limited catalog? I swear, I'm going to buy like every single steam engine in there other than the ones that I don't own. And trust me, as hard as it may be to believe, by the end of this video, there are quite a few locomotives I do not own yet from that catalog. But I know you guys have been waiting for answers on the big boy, answers on what I've been buying. I think the last video I made was double heading Hudsons or something like that. And then there was one before that. I think it had something. Yeah, it was a cab forward. So I'm gonna answer all those questions. And as a matter of fact, you know what? Let's just get into it right about now. All right. So first things first, guys. I know that the last major update I had, or the last major video I had, was related to the big boy, and I had a lot of questions that were asked about, okay, so what's going on with the big boy? I know you had to send it back to the shop. Where is it? What's going on? Well, as you can see, it's back, and it's actually, it runs pretty decently. I'm still debating on whether I want to do a review of the big boy or not, considering I had that hour-long video dedicated to why I love the big boy. In a way, you could really say that that's a review, but it's not a review of this locomotive. So let me know in the comment section below whether you guys would really want me to do a review of this engine or not. I'm still debating on it. I probably will, to be quite honest, because I have nothing else better to do with my time. But other than that, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a review on the big boy. It is the model I've always wanted. However, I have still had some issues with it. I was actually very disappointed, believe it or not, this time around with MTH. And I'm not as much of a diehard MTH fan as I thought after having so many complications with this locomotive. For the most part, it runs smooth, but there are a couple of hiccups with the gears binding up still. If you tap it and move it around a little bit, it'll correct itself. And I did have a few other complications, like the marker lights don't light up that well. Neither do the number boards. Like, the room has to be dark in order for you to see it. The cab light's very dim. Like, none of the extra details that you get with this locomotive are really that outstanding. They do not stand out that well. I mean, you buy, a lot of people get the MTH locomotives because of their extra features. And if you're gonna do it for the big boy for the second run, or I guess this is the third run, you might want to hold off, because it's you can tell they're there, but it's just not as nice. And there's this really weird buzzing sound that comes out of the locomotive every time I blow the whistle, and it's just kind of it's kind of weird. But I mean, it's still a nice model. It's still the model I always wanted. I'm happy. Praise the Lord, I own one. But it's like, I'm just not as happy as I would have been if everything had been perfect. I've actually had to fix other problems on it as well, such as small pieces coming off, small bits of the linkages, and other articulated points, like this piping detail here came undone. Almost lost a screw there. Really tiny screws here came off, and it honestly just does not feel as well put together as some of my other MTH models. But you know what? If you take care of the engine well, if you handle it gently, it'll do justice for you. It'll pull at the least 110 cars easily. So I'm still happy with the model, just not as happy as I would have been if they had have done a better job on this run. But anyway, enough about the big boy. You've heard me talk about that engine enough on this channel. Let's move on to something a little bit newer. So up next in the collection, we have the cab forward. Like I said, I made a video of this sucker a little while back, and I really need to do a review on this one. I am so behind in video reviews, it's not even funny, you guys. There are so many engines that I bought that you don't even know about. I'm so excited to show you in this video. But the cab forward has to be one of my favorites that I have purchased. The detail on this thing is phenomenal. It's practically brass level detail on this sucker. I'm afraid to pick the thing up without fear of breaking something off. You can't see it, but I've actually already broken off one piece that fits over the smokestack here. No biggie. I'm going to try to glue that on at some point in the future. But other than that, it's the only piece that's actually broken off. The sounds, I love the sounds of this thing. This has a Loc sound decoder. These are the, I forget which one. I think it's not version 4. It's one of the newer ones though. It's up there. I think it's a Loc Sound Select, but they have the actual prototypical cab forward sounds. And man, does this thing sound freaking sweet. I honestly believe, in my opinion, Loc Sound, with a couple of exceptions, Loc Sound is right underneath the TCS Wows. The TCS Wow sounds. They're next in line. The quality of the whistle and also the amount of features that you get, like the different number of whistles that you get on this locomotive, is just crazy. This engine comes with 16 whistles. I think for the lower end Wow sound decoders, excuse me, the lower end Wow sound decoders, they come with 25 whistles. This one comes with 16. You really don't need more than that. But hey, you know what? I'm not complaining. It honestly, I went through all the whistles. It was so hard to choose just one. You want to play them all. But I really love the sound of this sucker. And the bell, it could be better. But you know what? I'm not going to continue talking about this guy for too long. I'm going to do like I said, I'm going to do a review of this. I'll do the full thing. I'll do the full review in the future. And until then, I'm just going to have to leave you guys with, just a little teaser. A couple nice sounds, but man, I just love this engine. So other than the cab forward, I did purchase the brand new Broadway Limited Paragon 2 Class A. Smoke, all the good sounds. Another phenomenal engine. Very, very impressed. What I like about this one, let me just turn off the sound real quick. Oh, love that whistle. What I love about this locomotive is the fact that they put different sounds, a different sound set in this one. Normally with your Broadway Limited locomotives, you get the same standard idling sounds, the same standard bell. They put a different bell, different chuffing, different idling sounds. It's just like a brand new engine. I was afraid that they were going to put the same exact sounds as they did in the Y6B. However, they didn't. I'm happy they didn't. They have a fantastic model. I'm so pleased with this. This was actually a Christmas present from my mother. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Best Christmas present I've gotten in a long time, and I honestly could not be happier. It is such a treat to double head this sucker with the Y6B. I will have videos of that up eventually as well, pulling all my coal cars. That was fun. I'd actually do that at the train show. Oh yeah, I went to a train show, by the way. Picked up a few things there. I'll show you that in a little bit too. But I went to a train show, and of course I ran trains there, and it was absolutely fantastic. I double-headed Y6B in the Class A, and they were a hit. and you can see why. This got the prototypical sounds. This is actually the whistle that I wished was in my Y6B, but that's okay. I'm so happy that the Class A has this whistle. It sounds great. So happy that it sounds completely different than all my other Broadway Limiteds. And I can't really say more than just, if you don't have one, you really need to pick one up, because this thing is sweet, man. Really freaking sweet. But let's move on to the next item, shall we? Now, as many of you know, I'm a huge MTH and Broadway Limited fan, but I like to expand my horizons, and there were a couple other companies that really caught my attention last year with the products that they were coming out with. One of them was Athearn, and as a lot of you know, I did purchase the Athearn, the Athearn Challenger. I also picked up another one, which was the Athearn FEF, and I got it in the Greyhound paint scheme. And may I say that this is a beautiful model. I'm a huge UP fan. I think that's my second favorite railroad just because of all the steam power that they have. But man, did they do an awesome job on this model. I think I got this one a month or two after I got the Class A. Really, really nice detail. I'm just so happy with it. Sounds great. Tsunami really stepped up their game with the decoders. I know that the whistle isn't very prototypical for this model, but I still think that it fits this engine, and I couldn't have it sounding exactly the same as my Challenger. I had some pet peeve of mine. I can't have my locomotives sounding exactly the same. Even, you know, I don't care if the decoders are the same. They have to have at the very least, a different whistle. Happy the chuffing sounds somewhat different, but other than that, there will be a full review coming of this one, guys, as well as the Class A. I didn't mention that in the last snippet, but going to be doing full reviews of the Class A and the FEF, so stay tuned for both of those. Now, you guys probably thought I was done buying stuff, huh? Not quite. This is actually a more recent purchase. The Broadway Limited Santa Fe 3751, the 484 Northern, 3751, 3754. Wow, I can't read numbers today. Anyway, yeah, just picked this one up about 2 months ago. Ran into complications, had to send the first one back to the guy I bought it from. After that, I had more complications, so I sent it back to Broadway. They got this sucker back to me within 2 months, and I'm very satisfied with the model. It sounds great, looks great, runs great, all that good stuff. Very happy with the level of detail. As always, Broadway does a fantastic job, and I am so happy to own one of these, being this is my first Santa Fe steam locomotive, which I find kind of funny considering Santa Fe is my favorite railroad of all time. But this is the first Santa Fe steam locomotive I own, and yes, I have heard about the Santa Fe 210-2 that's coming out this year from Broadway, and yes, I will be picking up one of those. If it's steam, I will most likely be picking it up. It's probably a 99.999% chance that I'm going to be buying all things steam related by the end of the year. So, other than that, guys, I'm really looking forward to a lot of the products coming out this year, as I said before. But this was one that was hot on my list. Considering I have a lot of Santa Fe rolling stock, passenger cars, all that good stuff, and I'm so excited to actually pull this sucker have my Santa Fe passenger cars behind this in a consist. So really, really freaking excited to run this. So other than trying to buy every single locomotive I can get my hands on, I have actually been getting more into the modeling aspect of the hobby. So this right here is my first ever weathering job. I did this about, what was it? Okay, well, first off, let me just say this. It's not my first weathering job. It's my first weathered locomotive that I ever did. But this is my, yeah. I did this about 3 months ago. Just got some weathering powders at my LHS, and I kind of went carried away, tried to weather up the trucks, get them a little dirty brownish color. You can see here I did the sides. This is a Broadway Limited SD7. Yeah, it's a Broadway Limited SD7. Union Pacific color scheme. If you wanted, I was stupid and didn't take any before and after pictures. But if you want to see what this sucker looked like before, just go ahead and go online. But let's check out some of that nice detail on the side there. Tried to dirty this up around here as well. But you guys can let me know what you think for my first weathering job. Let me know if I actually did a decent job on it or not. Now, you know I couldn't just weather a diesel, right? My first weathered steam locomotive, I believe, was a complete success. This is my Bachmann 2662 Mallet. You've seen it in previous videos, some of my earlier YouTube videos. This engine has been featured in quite a bit, and yeah, I did quite a number to this one as well. As you can see here, painted up the smoke box gray, back of the boiler gray as well. And you know what, I'm gonna give you guys a closer look so you can get some more of that detail. But like I said, I really appreciate some feedback on my weathering job. You guys can tell me how well I did, if I did a decent job or not. So, like I said, I'm new to this. This is the first steam locomotive I ever did, and I have other stuff to show you guys as well. Now, the camera quality is not the best, but here's a side view of the locomotive. You can see that the rods have been painted a rusty color. I definitely doled the heck out of the boiler, and you can see where the gray splotches are, obviously. And then underneath where the firebox is, I painted that brownish rusty color as well. And then moving down to the tender, I dulled that bad boy up too. Couldn't have her looking all clean and whatnot. But yeah, I think that this one came out as a complete success. Very happy with it. Still new to this weathering thing, and certain aspects of it scare me, because when you get done with a locomotive, when you're using powders at least, they tend to gunk up the wheels and the electrical contacts, so I have to clean all that out, and it takes about a good 30-40 minutes to clean out the all the little finer areas where it likes to get gunked up in there. But other than that, I love weathering. It's really fun. Alrighty, so this next one you may not be able to recognize at first glance. That's right. So the next one I weathered up was the Athearn Challenger. This one, as far as the steam locomotives are concerned, is well, actually, as far as any of them are concerned, this one was my favorite weathering job. I put the most effort into this. I stayed watching Pentrax videos, The Last of the Giants, Part 2. I watched that for a good... Well, actually, I watched the whole thing through, which is about an hour and a half, and then I had to pause the video, and then I had to cross-reference the pictures that I saw of the Challengers, the Cheyenne yards, with pictures that I saw online. And what came out is the final product of what you see here. So as you can see, there's a lot more detail on this sucker. I did the best I could at the time with this. I think I could come up with a better product now. But I did do so many little details onto this sucker. Like, for instance, probably can't tell as well on the back as you can, or on the front as you can the back, but right here, if you look, these are little watermarks that are spilling down the sides of the boiler. But if you look back here, you can actually see them a lot better. Little watermarks popping off the side from the boiler. And then, of course, I like to keep my windows nice and dusty because it doesn't make sense to have a nice weather locomotive but clean windows. Like, I don't understand why people do that, but, you know, whatever. I just really tried to work with the different shades and colors and things. I'm sorry I don't have a lot of before and after pictures, but I did have footage of this sucker running. So you can kind of compare to my previous videos how this sucker looked to how it is now. Tried to paint up the rods a little bit as well. The wheels, had to dirty those up. The cylinders, had to dirty those up. And one of the Pentrax videos is probably hard to tell on camera. This is just a little detail I did. You probably won't be able to even notice. But this area right here, if you look, is a little bit darker here. This section on back is darker from the rest of the elephant ear. Or smoke deflectors, whichever term you prefer. Anyway, I actually saw that in one of the Pentrax videos. This area, for some reason, was just darker, and the rest of it was a little bit lighter. But hey, you know what? I like the look of that. I wanted to mimic that, and it came out pretty nice. Let me see what else we can see here. Try to get a close-up. I know this camera sucks, so the detail is not going to be HD, guys. I apologize. I'm going to work on getting a new camera soon if I can stop buying engines, but I tried to rust this area around here. You see here all the safety valves. And then, you know, you had a little bit of gray coming down here on the side. Didn't really do too much to the firebox. At least you can't really tell on video, at least on this camera, too well. And then the tender, I'm not very pleased with the tender, to be quite honest. It looked a lot better when I had done it the first time. But the problem is powders tend to rub off if you don't apply them properly. And this is no exception. I need to actually redo the tender because it doesn't look right, in my opinion. It needs a lot of work. Come on to the back. See all this on here. I think the back looks alright. That's fine. And in the front, in the smoke box area, looked at a lot of pictures on Google. Whoop! I'm trying my screwdriver. Looked at a lot of pictures on Google to try to get this all the way it should be. But, you know, just little details. It's just the small details. Small things in life is what makes all the difference. And then dirtied up the smoke box all around there. Made that sucker look really dirty. Look at that. So, looks way better in person, believe me. But, yeah, for, you know, one of my first weathering jobs, I'm very happy. Before anyone asks, yes, I'm going to weather the big boy, but I'm trying to get some practice before I do all of that, because you know, big boy is my favorite engine, and I don't want to mess it up. All these locomotives that I'm showing you, I've almost messed up. And actually, one I did. I had to send one back, the M1B. I weathered that one, but I had to send that one back to Broadway because it just it wouldn't chuff anymore. I think the powders somehow got into the camera or the wires or something, and it's preventing the engine from chuffing. But also my smoke unit burned out, so I was like, yeah, well, gotta send it back anyway, might as well. So they're gonna take care of that for me. That's in the shop, should be back within a couple of weeks. Anyway, this is the Challenger. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I've been pretty busy, you guys, and there's still more to show you. Can you believe it? So one of the last locomotives I want to show you is one that isn't finished, which is the Y6B. I did weather this one up, a good chunk of it. I weathered it up, but like I said, this one's not done. I really want to work on the smoke box area more and get the colors a little bit more gray in here because it's just really black. Like this is all, it's weird how that happened because it just all came out as one really solid black color. And I think it's just the most peculiar thing. But I will fix that. The cylinders look pretty good, but in one of the old train videos I used to watch, I saw a Y6B and this sucker was really freaking dirty, and these cylinders had a lot of dirt on them. So I really want to dirty those suckers up to where you can really see them. Moving our way back, you know, they're not going to look at the tender yet. I'm not really happy with the tender. But moving our way back, you can't really tell that it's weathered all that much. At least I don't think you can. Wow, that's really greasy right there. That's kind of gross. Anyway, yeah. So you can see where I was going. It's not done, like I said. I weathered up, the number on the side. The windows you can't really tell, but that's weathered up too. The tender, half of it is weathered. It looks like this was actually all. The whole tender was covered in this powder, but like I said, the powders rub off sometimes, and it's just it really matters on how you apply that dull coat. I'm still getting used to that. But even the dull coat, when you apply that, what it'll do is it'll wash off your powders. It's really freaking crazy how that happens, and it's really annoying sometimes. It's really depressing because it's like your engine looks so nice, and then you spray it. And it's like, well, damn, I just washed off all the powders. Because this, like for instance, I don't even know what this piece is right here. I think it's some kind of air pump or something. I'm not sure, or maybe it's maybe it's the lubricating mechanism. But anyway, this was really brownish yellow. Like the same thing with the cylinders. Like this, the bottom half of the Locomotive was just a rusty kind of color. Dirt, earth, mixed between an earthy color and a rusty color. That's really what I was going for. But it washed off and it didn't come out all that well. So that's why I'm saying I'm not done. I want to work on the Y6B some more. If you look at the front here. But you guys have seen a review of the Y6B. I think it's a phenomenal engine. This one, I thought I broke this one too. I was scared to do a second Broadway Limited Loco, but this one ended up working. If anyone has any tips on how I can weather these steam locomotives with the powders without getting my wheels gunked up and without getting stuff in the motors and all that, please let me know. With the Y6B, I did take an extra step. I did tape off the wheels, but that didn't matter. Somehow the powder still got in through the tape and then underneath the wheels and gunked it up really bad. I had to clean the heck out of this thing. And I have certain types of solvents and things I can clean, but like I said, I just would like to avoid having as many problems as possible, obviously. But anyway, we're still not done yet, guys. We're getting to the end, but the last locomotive I want to show you is one that I'm really, really freaking proud of, and I think you guys are going to love this when you see it. Before I show you this last product that I have, I wanted to let you guys know that I still have been working on my modules here at the Train Club, and I've had a lot of assistance. You'll see later on in the video, the engine shed, which I believe the last time I showed you, the light was seeping through the brick, but that's no longer happening. The light is completely sealed inside. When I cut off the lights, you are not going to see any light seeping through the plastic at all, which is really nice. Haven't done the interior yet, so there's no little crates or anything inside, but still I'm really happy to actually have the inside done, except for one little mishap that happened. I accidentally burned out one of the lights inside the shed because I crossed the positive and negative wires in there, so burned the light out. So now I have to replace one of the lights in the shed. You can't really tell, but yeah, gotta redo that. And then also, as you'll see later on in the video, all the track work for the modules is now done. I have the siding that connects my modules to my partner Guy's modules. All that track work is now put in, the sidings are done, all that good stuff. So the next thing is wiring in all the buildings. And then after that, it's scenery, and I'm pretty much good to go. But yeah, that's the plan. And then I also have another set of modules that I bought that I'll be working on once these are done, and I'll show you guys that in a future video at some point. But anyway, let me show you the last thing that I purchased. So as I said earlier on in the video, I've been getting more into the modeling aspect of the hobby. This locomotive I am proud of for two reasons. Number one, it's weathered by me, and number two, the sounds are installed by me as well. So as you can hear and see, guys, this is a Proto 2000, or no. Yeah, no, wait, this is a Proto 2000. This is a Proto 2000 060 switcher. I actually saw one of these online from a guy, actually it was another guy on YouTube. I can't remember his YouTube channel name. But yeah, I saw him with one of these. Except his was Pennsylvania, and his had a wow sound in it as well. It wasn't weathered, but his had a wow sound in it, and it just I saw it. I'm like, wow, that's sharp. I really want to do that. So I messaged him and talked to him, and he told me, hey, if you need any help with the decoder install, let me know. So after being disappointed at the recent train show, with not being able to find any locomotives that I felt were worth buying, what I decided to do was I went on eBay, picked this sucker up for about $160, and then I purchased a wow sound at the show that I found for actually I think it was like about $110, and then a speaker for another $6. So you're looking at about a $270, $80 engine, roughly. It's about a $280 engine. Oh, and I also had to buy the LEDs. Yes, I installed the lights myself. That was a piece of work. Let me tell you about that for a second. So if you're looking inside of the smoke box here, I had to basically cut the LED and fit it to where it would fit inside of the smoke box. But I had to solder on really tiny pieces of whatever that wire is that connects to okay, whatever, I guess let's call it a wire. I had to solder on really small pieces of wire that connect to the LED so it could reach in here and get the electrical connection. Pain in the butt. The whole process altogether with the LEDs and the sound took about 5 hours. Luckily, our DCC guru Dave was here to escort me through the whole process. He showed me basically where to drill in the holes in the tender, and he told me how to install the decoder. He didn't do it for me. He just he pushed me, he nudged me on my way. He's like, no man, you did this yourself. At the end of the day, I felt really good because I did it myself. It was my first decoder install. I did have some help. I'm not denying that. Thank you, Dave, so much for helping me out with this. But for the most part, this was installed by yours truly, and then the weathering job was also done by yours truly after watching hours and hours of Pentrax videos. It was actually the same video I got the UP Challenger weathering job from. So I just went on there, and I went on Google too, and just got a few ideas of how I wanted to weather this little switcher. But yeah, as far as a model is concerned, this is a fantastic model. Just like the cab forward has crazy amounts of detail. I mean, where's my screwdriver? There is a wire. You probably won't be able to see it, but there's a wire that goes from the cab to the whistle, and then from the cab to the bell. I mean, it's just those little extra details that they put in there that just really makes all the difference on the model. But I weathered this sucker. I put the TCS wow sounds, and hands down, wow. Just freaking wow. You guys, you knew the king of steam, myself. I had to get the wow sound after hearing so many good things about them. And I cannot complain. There is not a single thing wrong with this decoder. It's beautiful. I love it. There's 25 whistles in this thing. I can set the sounds to activate on whatever function I want without having to program CVs. What I'm going to do is, instead of actually focusing on this engine as a model, I'm going to do a review on the TCS wow sound, and I'm talking about a full review. I have not seen a full review of the TCS wow sounds yet, but I want to be the first one on YouTube to do it. I've seen a few other guys. They've done short little reviews, but no, this one's going to be how to program, go through all the different whistles, everything, all the bells, because there's like 15 bells on here, 25 whistles, 5 different air pumps. Like, this is air pump number 1, and then I have a second air pump programmed on here too, and that turns on randomly. But yeah, guys, these amazing models. or excuse me, amazing. Well, this is an amazing model. Don't get me wrong, but the sound just completes it. I love the whistle I chose. Love the bell. I think it really sounds like a switcher, and that's what I love about the TCS WOWs. There's so many different sounds, and this is the lower end decoder. There's another one with over 40 whistles built into it, and I actually, now that I know how to install decoders, I want to actually buy another Locomotive that is just either has the sounds ripped out or it's just DCC ready, and I want to put one of the bigger WOW sound decoders in there. Oh, and the Keep Alive feature is freaking sweet too. I love how if I cut off track power, let me just do that real quick for you now. If I cut off the track power, and trust me, it's cut off. You can hear the sucker still going. I don't have any control over the functions, obviously, because there's no power. I can't send a signal to the train, but the sound is still going. I've hit dead spots in the layout, and this sucker just keeps on running. I love it. I absolutely love these TCS WOWs. Best decoders on the market, hands down. And so you see it. You just saw there this cut off. Whoa, I did a joke there. Oh, there's also a quillable whistle on here too. Love that. So much fun. This is one of the most fun engines I own. I love just running around with the sucker and switching out cars. Oh my goodness, so much fun. So yeah, guys, like I said, been really getting into the modeling aspect of the hobby, installing decoders, weathering, doing track work on the modules, all this stuff. I've actually weathered a few freight cars too, and I guess I could show you that as well. But anyway, wanted to show you my crowning achievement. I love this one. Freaking my best, the greatest accomplishment yet, weathering and a decoder install. So wow, right? Wow, long update on locomotives and what's been going on with those. Other than that, I did get a new tablet. It's a Dell tablet, really sweet. It's really awesome to run trains off a tablet. That is the most fun thing ever. I mean, you want a nice controller, buy yourself a tablet, put Engine Driver on that sucker, and run it. It's phenomenal, guys. I mean, it works just the way your cell phone does, but because the screen's a lot bigger, it's a lot easier to manage, more fun, and you look really cool doing it too. Look like professional, like a businessman or something. Freaking sweet. Anyway, let me show you some stuff I got at the last show. This won't be everything. A lot of stuff's at home, but what are you gonna do? Just take this, put this back. Yeah, so let me see here. Got this stock car at the show. Turns out the sucker has speakers on the bottom of it. That's because it's one of the old Broadway Limited stock cars. This one is the one with pigs, and it was the craziest thing. I got it for $5 from this guy. I actually bought a lot of freight cars from this guy. I got it for $5 at the show, and he had no idea that there was sound in it. I didn't have any idea until I went home, showed my grandfather, and while I'm showing him, I turned it over. I'm looking at the bottom. I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm like, those are speakers. I'm like, this must have sound. He's like, yeah, sound? I'm like, yeah. He's like, how much did you pay for that? $5. He's like, go test this out real quick. So I went to the layout downstairs in my basement to try to go test it out, and it didn't make any sound. But when I brought it to the club later that week and actually ran it with the little 060 switcher, it started making sound. And I'm like, wow, this is really freaking cool. I'm so happy I got that. It's such a find. Sometimes, you know, at the train shows, you find those rare. You get lucky once in a while. You get those rare. You get those rare finds, you know. But yeah, other than that, I got all these cars from that guy. They think they're between $5 and $7 each. I got this one from him. This one. I think I got a few of these cars like this. I actually got those cars from a few different people. This is Canadian, but this is a Sioux line. I got that at the show, that at the show, that at the show, this at the show. I just bought a bunch of rolling stock that I thought would look cool behind it. Engines. I got this. I had a cattle car mood. I just wanted to buy a bunch of cattle cars. Yeah, I got those. But anyway, the interesting story behind the cars with the loads. Same guy I bought that from. Um, his wife, I was talking to his wife, and she was saying that every single car that he bought, he literally stripped the whole thing apart. He repainted it, he redecaled it, he weathered it, and then he put and then he made loads and put the loads on himself. And I'm like, wow. She's like, he did that with every car. As soon as he got home from work, she said that he'd be doing that. I'm really happy that I own some of these cars that he did, because they are sharp. You wouldn't tell that this is, as far as the decals are concerned, that was done by hand. I mean, he did such a professional job. He did such a great job on those. This is an Idaho Northern car. I didn't get this from him. I got this from another guy. He had a bunch of Idaho Northern rolling stock. I've never heard of the Idaho Northern before. Really weird. Another car I got from him with a corrugated pipe. Another Idaho Northern car I got from that guy. And then, oh yeah, this is another car I got from him. I love that Lotus. Looks really freaking sweet. I love the industrial look of all that stuff. I just love having that in a train. And then, there was a following show the next week. There was a show the following week. And that one was really sweet because I got a Chesapeake and Ohio caboose, finally. Bill gave me one, but I really like this one that I picked up. And I actually weathered this one myself. This was actually the first or the second caboose I weathered. So you can tell me how well I did on that, but I really like the looks of that one. So yeah, weathered that caboose. And then more Idaho Northern rolling stock. I actually weathered this car as well. It looked just like that as far as the flat black color. But yeah, I weathered this one. You can't tell. You might be able to tell there are watermarks dripping down the side of that. But this was... originally it was a lighter weathering job, but I wanted to weather the sucker up more after my good friend Rick gave me this load. And in return for giving me the load, I actually weathered up one of the other Idaho Northern cars I bought from the show for him. I gave him the car, exchanged for the load, and I also weathered it for him. So he got a heck of a deal. And honestly, I think his turned out better than mine, but you know, what are you going to do? But yeah, this is the one I weathered for him, and he just loves it. He loves that car. He had a couple of these loads lying around, but yeah, he loves the look of that, and I'm really happy. I'm really pleased that he likes it. So it's nice to be able to do stuff for people like that, you know? So, yeah. One more car I almost forgot to show you guys was this little cattle car by here. But the problem with this one is that the coupler heights are really off. Even look here. It's so far above the other couplers, it's not even funny. So I really need to adjust that somehow. And I don't think I've bought anything else that you guys don't know about. You've probably either already seen this stuff before, or I've made references to it in other videos. But yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of what I bought at the show. Other than, I think, a few structures and some paint. But I did not buy any locomotives. I actually bought these two engines, the 060 and the Santa Fe Northern, after the show with the money that I didn't spend. But like I said, this one had to be sent back twice. And then that one, well, you know the story behind that. I'm just really happy with that one. But other than that, there's not really a lot that has gone on. But yeah, just, whew. Is that everything? I think that's everything. I don't really, oh, let me show you this. So, the siding that this stock car with the sound is on, this is what I was talking about earlier, where that was recently put in. Guy did this for me on the night I was not here. Thank you again, sir, if you're watching this. He did a fantastic job. Everyone was telling me how hard he was working on this. They said that he was trying to get the track to align perfectly, because it's weird. It's an S-shaped curve. We knew that we wanted to have a switch here, but the problem was we had the station here, and then we have the platforms that we had to put in, and we had to move these accordingly so we could fit the switch into where it would be prototypical, because you couldn't have this like right up here. That would just look kind of funny. So we decided instead we're going to move those back there, and then it comes off in a little spur, It goes off here into the other modules, off to the water scene. And yeah, I just really like the look of that. But when it's all said and done, it's going to come together really, really nicely. But these are my modules as they stand right now. Track work, bing, it's all done. It's just some extra track laying here. But yeah, track work's done. I might need to make a couple of adjustments. Yeah. Other than that, guys, I think that's about it. I said I was going to show you the lights in here, but I think I'll show you that in another video. And yeah, I believe that is pretty much it for what I've been up to the past 6 months. So in conclusion, guys, what do you think? Did I satisfy your curiosity? Are you satisfied with all this new stuff I bought? Is it enough stuff for you? Gosh, I've been doing so much in the hobby the past few months. I had to take a break for like 3 weeks. Now I'm back at it. But I also had to take a little break from YouTube because life gets crazy. We all know how that goes. Sorry, but hopefully I'll be back now. Hopefully get a lot more running videos done. And I haven't even shown you the progress that I've done at my house. Last year I was talking about moving everything out of my basement to get that space cleaned out. Well, that's been done for about a year now. So I really need to show you guys that. No tables have been put up yet, but I will hopefully be working on my layout by midsummer because there's still some more junk that needs to be moved out. However, all the main stuff is out of there. The room is being cleaned up, vacuumed. I actually had a mock layout set up down there, and the boards are still up, but I took that down. Didn't take any video or pictures of that. It wasn't worth showing. Crap, fast track all over the place. Fast track will actually be for sale. If anybody's interested in buying like $500 worth of fast track for like $200, let me know. I can do a video of that if anyone's interested in buying up some fast track. Because I'm going to get rid of that. If not, I'll sell it at the show. Piece of cake. But yeah. Anyway, guys, this is Railroad Kid 1937. I'm signing off. Hopefully you've enjoyed this really, really long video. Hopefully I haven't bored you to death. And please, all my subscribers, I've reached over 300 subscribers, you guys. Thank you so freaking much. I'm just amazed that I have 300 people that enjoy watching me. It's so freaking weird. It's cool, but it's weird. I'm trying to get up to that 500 subscriber mark. So if you guys would share my videos, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, I would really appreciate that. I need those thumbs up. Also, I had to put in a shameless plug for my man Scott at Making Tracks. He's been hooking me up with all sorts of sweet deals. There's another locomotive on the way that I have not talked about yet. Yeah, I bought another one that should be here hopefully tomorrow morning. I'll show you guys that one in another video. Yeah, the locomotives just keep on coming in. And there's still locomotives I haven't bought from last year that I'm trying to catch up on. Plus this year's new lot. MTH just came out with the triplex. Broadway Limited is coming out with the H10. Got to get one of those. And they're coming out with the 210-2s, both in UP and Santa Fe. And let's not mention the Texas and Pacific 210-4 in brass that's coming out. The, was it an S2 turbine, the 686, the only 686 reel arrangement ever built, of course, by the Pennsylvania Railroad. It's a steam turbine. That's looking pretty sweet. The 412-2. By Broadway Limited, that's looking sweet. I have to finish off my UP steam collection. Now I got the big boy, the Challenger, and the FEF. Plus I have a gas turbine. The only thing I'm really missing out of their big power is a DD40X, a U-boat, and of course the 412-2. And then I think there's one other brass locomotive. Oh, the New Haven I-4. It's a Pacific, a 464. Gotta get me one of those. And I think that's all from Broadway. MTH, their Allegheny comes out in September. Buying the Allegheny. If they keep pushing, but you know what? If they keep pushing the Allegheny back, what I'll probably do is I'll probably just go ahead and buy the River Rossi and put with the Wow sound in there. And that's another option. And then who else is coming out with cool stuff? Adler is coming out with a some kind of Southern Pacific engine. I love SP as well. I've got like 3 or 4 different SP engines. I've got the F units, I've got the daylight, and now I've got the cab forward. Yeah. And then Santa Fe, the roster is equal. I got the PAs, the F7s, and then I have now the 484 Northern, which is over here to my right. So other than that, guys, I'm just rambling on at this point. please, like I said, thumbs up, like the video. Share it on your social networking sites. Let's get YouTube famous here. Oh, and another thing. One more before I forget. The layout showcasing. I have not forgotten about the layout showcasing, where I was going to go and show you my favorite YouTubers train videos or train layouts, and they were all supposed to inspire me to work on my layout in one way or another. That's still coming. I know I mentioned that a year ago, but like I said, life's crazy, and I want to make sure that that video is just mind-blowing, like it's the best thing I've ever done, kind of like the Big Boy video, how that was like, whoa, like where'd this come from? I want that to be the same thing, and I really want to do a nice job, especially to all the guys on YouTube that I really, you know, look up to as far as your modeling expertise. A lot of you I know personally over the past few years, just watching you on YouTube, and everyone will get to see who my favorite YouTubers are. And it's not just HO scale. I you know, dabble in all scales. I love looking at things from all different model railroad scales. So that's just my thing. I'm subscribed to all sorts of different people here on YouTube because I get ideas from everybody. But other than that, guys, there is not a lot else to say. More, just be looking, keeping, be on the lookout for more videos. This is Railroad Kid 1937 signing off, saying peace, God bless, and whatever you do, guys, at the end of the day, keep railroading. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch y'all later. Peace. Hey guys, just wanted to let you know, if you wanted to get some of the awesome products that you saw in this video, like the Cab Forward or maybe the Class A, I want you to call my man Scott at Making Tracks. He's got some of the best deals out here, and his number is 1-434-823-4809. Once again, that's 1-434-823-4809. Like I said, he's got some of the best deals out here, and I love giving my subscribers amazing deals. So go ahead and check them out. Catch you on the flip side, guys. Peace.